It's a bleak morning in 1940. The sky over England is stretched taut, a fragile thread holding history in place. As German bomber formations surge forward like schools of steel fish, a streak of light slices through the clouds. It's not a Spitfire, not a Messerschmitt. It's silent, razor-cold, and utterly out of place. But the most terrifying part? This angel is wounded. Down on the ground, chain-hole radar screens flicker. Black dots creep from the channel toward the coast. Sirens howl. In the control room, an officer dismisses a strange trace that blips across his scope, too fast to be real. Phones ring off the hook. The scramble order is given. Spitfires and Hurricanes claw into the air, a desperate shield thrown against the coming storm. Then the sky cracks. A thin slit of light opens and seals, sharp as a knife through cloth. What falls through doesn't roar like a 1940 engine. It glides, clean, cold, like a thinking bullet. Inside the cockpit, the pilot wakes to the smell of hot metal and the blare of warning tones. Red lights strobe. The display glitches. The landing gear symbol flashes insistently, a constant, nagging pain. He tries to make contact. The radio auto-sweeps, catching only torn fragments. Urgent English, then panicked German. He looks down at the white chalk cliffs, villages like toy models, and flak guns swiveling to hunt a nameless target. A chilling thought grips him. If he goes down here, they might shoot him before he can even ask a question. Then he looks at his tactical display. The sky isn't empty air to him. It's a living map, an entire electric city lit up with data. The bomber stream and its escorts bloom on the screen, clear as day speed, altitude, heading, range. For the pilots of this era, it's a knife fight in the dark. For him, it's like sniping from the edge of the world. He tries to hail again, modern procedures meeting only static. There's no network here, no one to call for help. He's the pilot, a command post, and the only one who can save himself. The warning panel isn't lying. The gear lock fault flashes, system response lags, and heat climbs steadily. The fuel gauge drops, unforgiving. There's no resupply, no mechanics, no second chances. His radio catches more broken transmissions. Bandits inbound. Scramble. Then a German voice, screaming as a formation breaks. He realizes the enemy's strength isn't just skill. It's numbers. Time is on their side. So he makes his own rules. Shoot little, shoot right, and shoot where it will make the whole swarm stumble. He scans the formation like a doctor reading an X-ray, searching for the linchpin, the one that holds the chaos together. His finger hovers over the controls. A lock-on ring forms around a single bright, not the biggest, but the most critical. Just as he's about to fire, a new warning tone sounds, cold as ice water, as if the aircraft itself is whispering, "Don't gamble." What happens when the future of warfare meets its past? Who shoots first when no one knows who the real enemy is? Subscribe to find out. He doesn't rush in to see the enemy's face. He stays on the edge of the fight, where they don't believe anything can reach them. The German escorts appear as a chain of links. He chooses the one that keeps the tempo, locks it, and presses. A missile leaves the rail, so fast that distance becomes a bad joke. For the Germans, the sky is still empty until an escort lurches, erupts, and drops like a star snuffed out. The radio fractures instantly. From where? Who fired? I can't see anything. Below, an RAF command post panics in a different way. They see a strange track cut across the engagement zone, fast and clean, like nothing they know. He doesn't celebrate. His eyes flick to the fuel, to the landing gear lock warning still blinking stubborn, to the weapon indicators that have already gone dark in places, like a street losing power. The Germans try to cinch their formation tighter, the way you clutch a coat when a cold wind hits. He doesn't let them breathe. He locks the second target, a fighter riding tight to the bombers like a door bolt. Press. Another gap opens. The bomber stream immediately slips out of its rehearsed rhythm. Some dump their load early to hold altitude. Others snap into evasive turns. Down below, Spitfires climbing to fighting height suddenly have room to bite, diving into the wobbling formation like a hammer striking a loosened nail. German radio traffic shifts from confidence to desperation, then to rage. And rage makes people gamble. The survivors don't run. They break apart, widen, slip into cloud, use the sun, use the sea, using every old trick to turn distance into a trap. He stares into the sky ahead and knows the first wave is over. The second, the counterhunt has just begun. The sky becomes a maze. German fighters peel off like shards of glass, each choosing its own angle. They don't need to understand what he is. They only need to drag him down where machine guns can speak. He holds altitude and range, constantly changing course. But the pincer still takes shape. Far to the right, he spots an RAF flight still climbing. If he drags the Germans toward them, those men become targets. He has to drop altitude just a beat to slip the clamp. But that's enough for history to put a hand on metal. A burst of rounds slices past, hissing along the fuselage like claws scraping iron. Not a hit. A scrape, but the sound is enough. That is the sound of an older era trying to kill him. Cold sweat runs into his collar. He hauls back into altitude, fighting to regain distance, when red text appears. Landing gear, lock fault. The crack finally shows its face. He reads the parameters like counting heartbeats. Heat rising, one response channel half a beat late, the fuel needle touching red. No one behind him with a toolbox, no spare parts. He has only sky and a decision. He stops chasing scattered targets. He shifts to the only remaining logic. Hit the spine once, hard enough to open a path out. He finds the aircraft, the rest follow without thinking. Lock, press, far away. A point of light bursts, and the whole cluster of blips tangles. But in his ear, an RAF fragment comes through, unidentified. Over Kent. On the ground, they are raising barrels to the sky, too. This aircraft is not just a weapon. It's a secret that could reshape the war if it falls. He looks down. Britain is thin and breakable. The worst fate isn't being shot down. It's crashing on the other side. The warning lights flash again. He noses inland to withdraw, but the sky is still full of hunters learning how to chase a shadow. He no longer watches the battle like a hunter chasing pleasure. He watches it like a man buying time with blood. Every second he stays up here, the bombers creep closer to their target. Every second he gets dragged into a chasing game, RAF men on the ground pay the bill. So he chooses the simplest, cruelest way. Cut the heart and let the body collapse on its own. He finds the last conductor left in the formation, sets the lock ring, and presses. At a range the Germans still believe is safe, a new gap opens. The effect is like dominoes. Escorts lose their anchor. Bombers lose rhythm. The formation scatters like birds struck by stones. Below, Spitfires hit the weakness at the exact point, like a hammer on a door already cracked. He doesn't pursue. He watches his weapons thin out, icons going dark one by one. He watches the fuel needle buried in the red. Then his eyes return to the landing gear warning. If he hesitates, the system could jam for good. Then there's no find somewhere to land. There is only fall wherever you fall. In his headset, an English voice shouts, "Unidentified aircraft possible bandit." He understands the next danger isn't just the enemy. It's tomorrow's ally, the friendly round, the mistaken trigger. He tries to speak on an open frequency, but the sound is swallowed by dozens of frantic channels. So he can only speak in shapes. He rocks his wings, bleeds speed, prays someone understands. He drops altitude, picks a track clear of RAF flights, and locks his final target, the nearest emergency airfield. Not to win, to live. He sees a stretch of grass open, like a hurriedly spread cloth. A group of men runs out, staring and aiming at the same time. The operations room has already called it in. Unknown. On the ground, they don't welcome him. They prepare to shoot. He rocks his wings again. A familiar pilot's signal, then bleeds speed, fighting to keep the aircraft steady while the gear lock fault keeps flashing. He tries to cycle it. The response comes late. If the gear won't lock, the touchdown becomes fire. He holds the nose high and chooses the gentlest landing he can. Wheels bite grass. The airframe hops hard. Metal screams. He holds it down, lets it run long, and finally stops. Engine off. Silence. Then boots pounding and sharp shouts, "Stay still." Out of there. Through the canopy, rifle barrels point straight at him. He opens it slowly, raises his hands, and steps out. Palms empty. He speaks, short and clear. Not German. An officer pushes through, eyes fixed on the aircraft's alien sheen. He points at the warning panel, the gear fault, the fuel gauge, and signs. Broken. Out of fuel. They don't understand everything, but they understand this. It's too different to leave. A heavy tarpaulin is dragged over, covering the aircraft like a wound being hidden. In the next hour, reports pour in. The German bomber stream is broken. Britain gains something more precious than victory, a breath. But inside the hut where the strange machine is hidden, everyone knows this is not a miracle. It can feed a whole war. A future aircraft doesn't live on legend. It lives on the right fuel, the right spares, the right procedures, things 1940 can't grow overnight. The officers argue, keep it for study or destroy it so it can't fall into German hands. Let one rumor cross the channel, and the enemy will not only bomb, they will hunt. History doesn't change because you are strong. History changes because you arrive at the right second, then leave a long shadow behind. If you want to know whether that shadow will save them or swallow them, comment one line. Do you choose to keep it secret, or use it now at any cost? Thanks for watching.